Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where I take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. I love looking at other people's different perspectives and whatnot on these draft prospects. And we're taking a look at the GOAT House. He's got a 2-rounder for us. I highly suggest you go ahead and take a look at the video yourself. I went ahead, watched it, and let's see if it's as reactionary as his last one to the Senior Bowl. This is a 2-rounder post-Senior Bowl, but what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know so, go ahead. Become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love these Mock the Mocks because I love looking at other people's perspectives. It allows me to get a lot of work done because these videos are just, me reacting. And I'm hoping to get those positional rankings out to you for the draft this weekend. I'm starting right after this. I did basically a big bulk recording of reacting to these mock drafts. You got a ton of them on the channel, a ton of draft content on the channel, so go ahead, check that out. Let's go ahead, see what the GOAT has in store for us. I said the GOAT. Should have said the GOAT House. Well, maybe he is the GOAT. But he goes 8 by 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 8. I don't know if I said that 8 times, but we're going to check out 64 picks here. Good looking man, by the way. But he has Kem Ikwanu going to the Jaguars. This was Dane Brugler's pick. Kem, he just rose in the betting odds when it came to being the first overall pick after Dane Brugler announced him. GOAT House has him here. Listen, if it's your top tackle, if this is the top tackle on your board, go right ahead and take him. I prefer Evan Neal. I kind of fancy Evan Neal, but if you got a Kem Ikwanu higher than him, Dane Brugler was pretty adamant about he thinks a lot of people will have him higher, then go ahead, take him. Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit, BPA, best player available. That's what you're doing if you're Detroit. Kyle Hamilton coming here to the Texans. Some people like this. Some people are like, hey, he's the best player on our board. I still ride with KT. I assume I'm going to have Aiden Hutchinson and KT as my top overall prospects in this class. So I'd be more willing to go KT, maybe even Evan Neal, just because the value of the safety position. But Kyle Hamilton is top 10 or top 5 prospect for largely everyone, so maybe this is fine. Maybe it's fine. I still kind of lean with Thibodeau or Neal. But Kayvon Thibodeau going to the Jets. We know Joe Douglas. We know he loves the trenches. And actually, Robert Saleh, he preaches, hey, let's get all the pass rushers we can to make it a lot easier on our secondary. So getting KT makes a ton of sense. Evan Neal going to the Giants. Listen, the G-men, they need more offensive line. Well, they need offensive line in general. That if Mara, he's like, hey, let's get a fair evaluation of DJ. That means our offensive line has to get better. Doesn't surprise me. He takes Neal here. Malik Willis going to the Panthers. Listen, Panthers, if they're going to make this pick count, they don't have a pick inside the top 100 outside of this pick, then it's either you're using this to trade for a quarterback or you're just take a swing on quarterback. I get the idea of let's make sure this pick, we hit on it because we don't have one inside the top 100, but at the same time, go ahead and swing for the top quarterback in this class. Swing for a high position of value. Quarterback is the highest. So Malik Willis being the top guy after the Senior Bowl. Nakobe Dean going to the Giants. I get it. Blake Martinez was hurt largely for a large portion of last year. They don't really have much behind him. Dean, he's going to test out like a freak. He had an amazing year there at Georgia. So he might be the top linebacker off the board. Some people, after how he tests athletically, because he's going to test well, some people might have him in the top 10. So yeah, I don't mind this too much. I like the idea of double dipping. I think that's something the Giants might considering they don't have a ton of cap space and they need that offensive line to get better and get better in a hurry. So Tyler Linderbaum, I kind of fancy for that pick, but Jermaine Johnson going to the Falcons. I like the idea of taking whoever your top corner is at this spot because I don't think one pass rusher is going to really make a big difference on this squad. Though grabbing cornerback depth and have it get in the top corner in this class, at least via your board, and then having arguably the top corner in all of the league, that's going to help a ton, especially like with Dean P is a guy that wants to blitz, that trusts his guys in cover 0, cover 1. So I kind of fancy that. And this is a deep edge rushing class. You could get quality talent in the second round. Jermaine Johnson, he's a guy that is NFL ready. As far as the ceiling, probably not as high as some guys like a David Ojabo, but he made a lot of money for himself. He is a top 20 prospect. But I still probably would lean corner. We could talk wide receiver, but I mean, the higher, in terms of staying true to our board, the higher prospects here are at edge, are at corner. Let's go ahead and take a look at what he's got for us in the next slate of picks. Kenny Pickett to number 9, second quarterback off the board. I thought Kenny Pickett lost a lot of money. Some of you, the 8-inch hands are a concern for me. They just are. I say this every video. No quarterback in the modern era has started in the NFL at quarterback with sub 8-inch hands outside of Michael Vick. Kenny Pickett is not the caliber of athlete Michael Vick is. Kenny Pickett, he looked like he had the weakest arm there at Mobile with Bailey Zappi included. Like I'm just saying, he had a great season last season. I don't think that takes away from the 2.5 seasons of mediocre play. I'm really trying to reel back my expectations on Pickett. Does it mean I think he can't make it in the NFL? No. It just means this guy, like, you're really betting against the standard. And I'm always like this when it's like I'm not looking for the exception necessarily. Like, they have to be like athletically or physical tool, like unbelievable physical tools out the wazoo for me to kind of like bet against the exception, or maybe some sort of means of production, which the production was great for Pickett, but like there has to be other elements, you know? There has to be, and for Pickett, I really don't see any. Like, I think he could be a fine high-end backup, but I'm not risking that in the top 10. I'm just not. This pick, it needs to be quarterback, whether it's through via trade or in the draft. I'm more willing to go Sam Howell if that's the case. Even Desmond Ridder. I think those guys, they don't have the same concerns as Pickett. And then Ahmad Gana going to the Jets. So they go they went pass rush. And now they get someone to shore up the other side of Bryce Hall in Ahmad Gardner. They lost in the sauce. But where else? Like, Charles Cross could be a good pick here, but Ahmad Gardner's solid. Sam Howell going to Washington. He is the third quarterback off the board. Probably, maybe quarterback 1 or 2 for me. We'll see when I get to my rankings. But I like Sam Howell a ton. I think he's one of the more pro-ready quarterbacks. He's got an unbelievable arm. By far, you know, he doesn't have the arm talent of Malik Willis, but I'd say like his arm talent's like top 3 in this class. Sam Howell, I'm fine with this pick. Zion Johnson going to the Vikings. Bit of a head scratcher for me. Kind of, sort of. I get maybe if like, maybe we play him at center or get rid of Garrett Bradbury. But I don't think Garrett Bradbury is that offensively bad that I would consider center here. You got a new coach. You got to make a splash. You got to go after a position of value. You got to go for those premium positions. Edge rusher, corner, wide receiver, maybe even quarterback if you like someone in this class. But for Zion Johnson here, especially over Linderbaum, actually, right? So, like, I don't know. Like, maybe you're getting him to be your right guard because you got Ezra Cleveland, I believe, at left guard. And then you're hoping maybe Wyatt Davis develops and is ready to be your right guard. But I don't know. For me, this ain't it for the Vikings. Garrett Wilson. Everyone and their mom is putting Garrett Wilson to the Cleveland Browns. That doesn't change here. Trevor Penning. Listen, Trevor Penning, this is exactly the right system if you're going to take him in the first round. Because in terms of as a pass protector, I have my reservations, at least in year one. I don't think he's ready to start year one. We saw inconsistencies with how he distributes weight along his body. For a guy his size to have an anchor so weak in one-on-ones during the Senior Bowl was a bit of was concerning to me. He lost a lot of the Senior Bowl, but he has that nasty mentality. He's going to be a great run blocker early on. And honestly, outside of the Ravens, any other team draft him, you're probably starting him guard early rather than tackle. Devin Lloyd, Eagles, their linebacker room, it needs improvement. Derek Stingley also. These are two banger picks. Derek Stingley making it to 16. It's basically highway robbery for just the traits, the tools that Stingley brings. So this would be a very good pick. All right, on to the next group. Jordan Davis, pencil it in. Everyone and their moms making this pick for the Chargers. I tried to be a little bit different in my mock. Matt Corral going to the Saints. So, like, I think this pick, for me, just it feels like it's going to be a quarterback for the Saints. It's a cheap way to kind of rebuild. Do at least a mini rebuild. They're going to lose a lot of good players via free agency this year just because they can't afford it. They were kind of like all in on last year. But Matt Corral, for me, looked a lot better after watching the Senior Bowl quarterbacks because I've been down on Corral, but looking at this class, it's like, man, maybe this class isn't like... I don't want to say like nearly as good as I thought because I didn't really think it was that good. But Matt Corral is a guy that I'm not ready to start right away. He's a guy that if you're going to start him right away, you got to have a lot of stuff schemed up for him, or else I think you're going to be looking at a very Zach Wilson-esque year, in my opinion. But and having to grab the quarterback 4 here at 18 kind of sucks. But I do think we will see the quarterbacks fall. And I think there's a real chance that the Saints could be picking the quarterback 2 or quarterback 3 in this class at this point. But quarterback 4 is just... I spit at that. I really spit on my desk. That's terrible. Jameson Williams going to the Eagles. I get the idea of, hey, let's get this is a very similar guy to like Devonta Smith. He's a bit thin, a little taller though. I think he's going to be like 6'2", but thin, vertical receiver, great stop-start ability. I'm more in the market of, hey, Treylon Burks. Let's get a little bit of size and a guy that kind of like achieves at least a similar role, you know, but Derek Stingley, Devin Lloyd. So Jameson Williams, that's fine. That's a good 3 picks. Tyler Linderbaum making it here at 20. This is the thing with Linderbaum, man. Like, I think he's a better prospect than Zion Johnson. I'm going to say that. And I really like Zion Johnson. But Linderbaum, man, he could go from anywhere from pick 7 and apparently to pick 20. I've seen him as low as the Titans pick. I don't think he makes it to 20. In all honesty, but this would be a great pick. This allows Kendrick Green to move to guard, which is what he really played in college. He really only moved to center because of an injury to Doug Kramer. And then Drake London, I said this in multiple videos, fantastic pick for the Patriots. Get a big-bodied X-wide receiver, great catch radius for your boy Mac Jones. He needs a bit more firepower. There needs to be a bit more stank to this offense. Perion Winfrey going to the Raiders. Now, Winfrey was a monster. He could sneak into the first round. I just don't think the Raiders are it, man. I just don't. I mean, you can definitely add better players on the interior, but maybe I'm going for a more premium position if I'm Josh McDaniels. This is my first year at coach for the Raiders. I'm trying to maybe hit corner. I'm maybe trying to hit wide receiver. Those kind of be like my top alternatives there, you know. But like Winfrey's good though. It wouldn't surprise me if he did go this high. David Ojabo going to the Cardinals, man. So they get their replacement for Chandler Jones. Somewhat, I don't think he's more of a pass rush specialist to begin his career. Because keep in mind, hasn't seen a lot of significant playing time. He just became a starter like in week 6 this year. George Karlaftis fallen this far to the Cowboys. This is just great value if you're the Cowboys. Great value. All right, on to the next slate of picks. We have Devonta Wyatt going to the Bills. I like this. I wouldn't mind taking corner here. Might be more of a need, but I get the idea of trying to shore up the run defense, and you get a guy that was probably the most disruptive interior player at the Senior Bowl. A lot of people throw that on Perrion Winfrey, but I think Wyatt actually had more wins. Could be wrong about that. I got to go back and look at what I put down. Desmond Ridder to the tight end, so they get their heir apparent for Tannehill. Vrabel has been on record recently saying, hey, we're all in on Tannehill, but of course he would say that. I mean, it's not a bad situation where Ridder can sit, but yeah, it surprises me though that Pickett goes ahead of Ridder. I will say that. And I'm not even a Ridder fan. Treylon Burks would be a great pick here honestly, it would have been a great pick for the Tennessee Titans, but he'd be a great pick for the Bucs. They were missing out on that vertical threat. Great size, great speed. Maybe you look for more of a separator. Chris Olave would be really nice here too. Because, I mean, they lost AB. They're losing Chris Godwin. So maybe. Charles Cross, how you end up in the back of the first round. But it's a draft. Great players fall in the draft. Charles Cross would be a good pick for the Pack. Dolphins, Christian Harris. This is interesting. So this would be more of your run stuff in, sure tackler, blitzing linebacker. We do have a need there because we got a lot of free agents. I mean, I might be going in on Chris Olave. I might be going in on George Pickens, though, here at this pick. Trent McDuffie going to the Chiefs. They do have some significant free agents there at corner. Pass rush would also be, in my mind here. But Trent McDuffie's great. He could go a lot higher than this. He's probably going to be like my quarterback 3 or 4. But there is a chance he falls because of size and maybe some length concerns. Kenyon Green would be an outstanding pick. That's the thing here for the Bengals. I think realistically you hope it's Zion Johnson, but Kenyon Green be fantastic. I actually got Green higher on my board than Johnson. But grabbing a guy that can play really 4 of the 5 offensive line spots, valuable. Chris Olave going to the Lions would be really good to pair up there with Amon-Ra St. Brown, so good pick here. Let's see some of these guys that didn't make it in the first round in his second. Jahan Dotson, I think realistically Jahan Dotson might be a guy that slips to the second round. Going to the Jags, grabbing more help for Trevor Lawrence. I like it. Quay Walker. Straight up, I think while Quay Walker is a good prospect, I think he's probably the worst linebacker prospect from Georgia. I actually like Channing Tindall a bit better, but Quay Walker is an amazing athlete for his size. He's going to test out well. Daron Kennard, I don't really want to get behind Daron Kennard, this high. He looks like he's going to be a guard, and we saw how good at guard he was this week during the Senior Bowl. The learning curve is there, but grabbing him, he's probably your right guard, replacing Greg Dulcich. So, I mean, I know Joe Douglas loves the trenches, but I don't know about this one. Boye Mafe, dude, big riser. I said he's probably going to be a top 50 prospect after the Senior Bowl. He's more polished. Not to say he's a complete prospect. He's not. But wonderful athlete, but more polished as a pass rusher than I really gave him credit for. He looked exceptionally good Senior Bowl week. I don't think he lost at all. And then in the game, he was just a monster. So I think the Giants would love to get a pass rusher of his caliber. That's what I'm saying. There's going to be a lot of good pass rushers here in the second round. Trayvon Walker making it to the second round. Again, you're taking best player available. With his physical tools, he could easily go in the first. George Pickens, so they grab another ex-wide receiver here, pair him up with Corey Davis. You got Elijah Moore there as well. So grabbing more weapons, helping out your young quarterback to get a fair evaluation of him. I like it. Bernhard Raimann, I don't know if necessarily the Bears need a tackle, though he could probably start guard early in his career. And to be fair, Raimann is a bit developmental at this juncture in terms of at least the tackle position, but he's also very early in his development at the tackle position. I'm trying to think, is there a receiver here I'd be willing to take? I mean, there's definitely corner play I'd be willing to take. Kyer Elam's still on the board. Andrew Booth is still on the board, right? So I might be going that avenue if I'm the Bears. Arnold Ebiketie, dude, they get some pass rush. Arnold Ebiketie to me is a first-round pass rusher. You might be like, this cat's only got 3 or 4 pass rushing moves. But what he can do in terms of his hand counters, his pass rushing game plan, his approach to rushing the tackle or whoever he's lined up against is NFL ready in my opinion. So yeah, no, grabbing pass rush low key is kind of a need there for the Broncos. Keep this rolling. Roger McCreary. The Seahawks, they're kind of in the business of getting these short-armed corners, I guess, as of right now. Like, I was a huge fan of Trey Brown. They get Roger McCreary, who might end up being a slot guy in all honesty. But not to say he can't play the outside. He totally can. Like, he's a fluid athlete. He has a ton of production to his name. They're playing the SEC. Seahawks, though, I don't know. I got this pick here. I'm looking to make more of a home run. Daxton Hill is a phenomenal pick for Washington. They have a big need there at deep safety. Daniel Falele, you're getting a developmental tackle at this point. We saw him get bullied for a man his size by a guy like Jesse Luketa, who is probably a day 3 pass rusher. Like, it wasn't good. You know, he's a guy you can't start right away. So I don't know exactly what is he challenging for at this point. Did Atlanta have a pick prior to this? Doesn't look like it. It looks like this is their first pick in the second round. Might be going pass rush here. But Travis Jones, Cleveland, they do need to get better on the interior. And probably they lost their best interior player because he was an idiot in McDowell. And they grabbed Travis Jones. There you go. They get better against the run. DeMarvin Leal, dude, he is a Raven pick, man. He's a bit of a tweener, but they could definitely find maybe like a Derek Wolf for him. Derek Wolf role for him. I think I said that right. Andrew Booth being available here for the Vikings is just a steal. David Bell, yes, wide receiver is a big need. I'm not going to lie. I might consider Carson Strong at this point. I'm trying to think. I think 5 quarterbacks went off the board in the first round. Is that right? Ritter, Corral, Howell, Pickett, Willis. So would I be considering Strong here? I mean, you would like to get something better at quarterback than Carson Wentz. He looked pretty bad at the end, like the last stretch of the year. For the Colts, kind of cost them the playoffs. But getting better players at receiver is definitely up there. I might be looking more of a separator, though, than David Bell. David Bell, that's just not his game. Miles Sanders be a good fit. He's going to a scheme, at least from the defensive front, that he's pretty familiar with, similar to what he'd probably get a similar role to what he had there at Cincinnati, where he kind of played 5 tech, a little outside, a little inside. You know, you're getting also another good run defender here. I guess we're on to the Saints. Wan'Dale Robinson, I really like Wan'Dale as a pick here. I think I did this in a mock a couple of weeks ago when I did a 3-round mock. Was it a 3-round or a 2-round? I think it was 2-round. But yeah, no, I like the Wan'Dale Robinson pick. No one's really talking about him. He might be one of the like high-end gadget players in here that actually could be a really good like separator in the slot. Apparently Isaiah Spiller is the top back to Goat House. Not for me. especially here for my Dolphins. I'd like to be looking maybe since we didn't go receiver, maybe receiver here. We could be looking for more edge talent. Kingsley Enagbare would be right up my alley. I don't know, man. Like, I don't like with Mike McDaniel. To be fair, I think no, this was yesterday, so it would have been right after the Mike McDaniel hire. He got by on day 3 guys and journeymen. I don't know if he keeps that same philosophy coming to Miami, but I wouldn't doubt it. So I don't think the Dolphins be in the market for a running back on day 1 or day 2. Kingsley Enagbare, they get a very good edge. The guy might not be the most bendy. He likes to rely heavily on his bull rush, but he's got violent hands. And this is probably about the right value for Kingsley Enagbare. Darion Kendrick, I think, is going to fall. He could not handle quicker, speedier receivers in the one-on-ones, though then again, you're not designed to. He did show good recovery. I will say that. He did show good recovery when he got beat early, but I think it still might be speed is a legitimate concern, especially to go ahead of Kyer Elam, who I don't know why he's fallen in some of these mocks, but this would be a great pick for the Raiders. Kyler Gordon, another guy that I think could sneak into the first round just because the dude showed off some ball skills this year. Physically, he looks like he has great size, great length, and athletically, this dude's going to be mwah. So good pickup by the Patriots. Fedarian Mathis, I think this is a bit early. He's really just a one-gap penetrator. Not much lateral movement to his game. He's a very much straight line. Though I will say in the national championship game, he showcased a bit more of that than I expected. But still, you take him what you saw majority on tape, especially at the Senior Bowl. But I feel better about him on day 3. I think you just go elsewhere if you're the Cards. Jaquan Brisker's great value here at 56. You might be like, Dan Quinn doesn't value his safeties. Yeah, but you got a ton of free agents at safety. You're going to have to reload. So, Brisker, great value. Let's go on to... I guess this is the last bit of picks. So, Kobe Bryant going to the Bills. The Bills, they do need another corner to at least challenge Dane Jackson, who would be their corner 2 if Levi Wallace leaves via free agency. Running back could be in the books for the Falcons, and I love Kenneth Walker. He's my running back 1, and I don't see that changing. But you would think they would have really gone with a pass rusher. Oh, they did, Jermaine Johnson. So why wouldn't they go corner, in this corner deep class at some point? I don't know. I think if I'm doing a game plan for the Falcons, I'm going corner knowing pass rusher will be available to me. So, I'm going corner, I'm going pass rush, and then I'd kind of go from there if I'm the Falcons. Logan Hall's a good tweener there on the defensive line. He lists him as a defensive lineman. He's not really an edge. He's a little light on the interior at 275, 278, one of those two. But he would be a good addition for the Packers. A lot of people have him as a top 50 prospect. I'm not really there yet. Carson Strong making it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. I think Carson Strong, he's probably going to be like a midday 2 guy for me. I have concerns. I have reservations. He just didn't do enough to be a first rounder for me this year. Jermaine Waller, we know that safety, or it's not safety, corner's a need for the Niners, but I think getting some reliability there in the slot is kind of key too, because keep in mind they have, is it K'Wan Williams? I don't know. Their slots normally hurt. He had a healthy year this year, but Jalen Pitre kind of would be nice here. Kyron Williams, running back, going to the Chiefs. I get it. He's a good pass catching back. Kind of exploded during the second half of the season, but I'm not particularly high on Kyron Williams. Jaylen Wademeyer is the first tight end off the board, I believe. Instead of Trey McBride? Yeah, I don't think I saw Trey McBride. Listen, Wademeyer was kind of a down year, though it wasn't a bad year, but you're not getting anything extraordinary. Like, he's not a better blocker than McBride. And I would dare to say he's not the big play weapon that McBride can be. Jaylen Wademeyer, he's very physical after the catch, so he could definitely get you some yards after the catch, but he feels more like a chain mover, red zone threat, and you kind of hope he develops into being a blocker. We know the Broncos got a ton of free agents at linebacker. Chan Tindall, be a good pick. There's a lot of good. This is a good linebacking class. You're going to see guys like Chad Muma, Brian Asamoah, Leo Chenal. Who else? Damian Clark. Like, there's a good Brandon Smith. There's a wealth of talent at linebacker in this class. So being able to get it on day 2, I think day 2 is good value. Like, you're gonna find a lot of good value linebackers. But overall, how do I rate this mock? It's not bad. I disagree on some prospects, but that's what happens when you're in the business of evaluating prospects. You're gonna disagree with people. Atlanta, I really disagreed with their draft strategy. I've kind of come around to, like, maybe they don't go pass rush early, or at least in the first round. I'm going to be disagreeing with everyone and their mom on Kenny Pickett. That's just it for the reasons I listed out. Zion Johnson to the Vikings, I think might be, and I love Zion Johnson. It's just for the Vikings, I don't think it makes sense. I think you attack a premium position at that pick. You make a real, like, go after a guy if you're in your first year, if you're a first year head coach, you know. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing, and as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.